first of all, for the super dark lighting, but we're in that area of the year where it's already dark at about 3:30 in the afternoon. So you're going to have to bear with me. I have started a new book today, and it accidentally became a vlog. Myself and Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, we're talking about reading some hockey romances together. We're going to read Time to Shine by Rachel Reid. We had already discussed that we wanted to do that as a buddy read. And then I was talking to her about a different one. And then because both of those books were on our TBRs for November, we thought, hey, why don't we actually just read 3 hockey romances together and see if our tastes align, see if our thoughts match up, and see if this is something that both of us really enjoy. So I am on book 1. I don't know if it's going to be book 1 for her, but it's on book 1 for me, and that is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I've had this on my sights all year. I heard about this towards the end of 2022, instantly hooked by this. I am on chapter 10, so I'm about 85 pages in, and it's very college people having college problems. I'll say that that's how this goes. It is about Nate and Anastasia. Nate is the captain of the college's hockey team, and Anastasia is a figure skater who has gotten a scholarship to study at Maple Hill University. And they hate each other for an incident that happened with one of the guys on Nate's hockey team that has resulted in the college now only having one Olympic standard hockey rink rather than 2. And from reading the back of the book, something is going to happen with Anastasia's partner, and there's going to be a reason why Nate has to now train with her or stand in for the partner. And I'm really interested to see how that is going to work. As I said, this is very college people having college problems. There's a lot of, oh, you were talking to this guy and I was really interested in him. Why were you talking to him? Or, oh, I don't know if I want to talk to her because she was hugging a guy in the canteen the other day. So I think maybe she has a boyfriend. There has already been one incredibly spicy scene, and I am here for it. I'm having the best time with that scene alone. Let's see how the rest of this book goes. I know that Brittany is going to be starting sprints in 4 minutes from now. I'm going to come on and read with her. I'm not on camera, but I am going to hop out to the shop, get some stuff for dinner, and then I'll come back. I'm going to pick up the book. I might put the fire ambience on my Netflix screen and just read in the corner. I took a massive bite of this Whisper from my Heroes tin before I remembered that I had not told you what the other 2 books that are in this vlog are going to be. Because we can't compare our thoughts on just one book. We're going to make it a little exciting and keep with the original plan for the buddy read that we already had. And we're going to read Time to Shine by Rachel Reid. I've got a NetGalley copy of this from the publishers, and I'm really excited about it. I know that it's set in Canada. Brittany is Canadian, so I'm wondering if our thoughts are going to be different just based on that little geographical fact alone. And we're also going to read Breakaway by Grace Riley, I think is her name. And I am interested in this because I have had my eye on First Down, which is a similar book in the series, but it is a football romance. I haven't read a whole lot of football romances either. This is going to be my very first hockey romance. The 3 of these are going to be a brand new situation for me. But I am very intrigued and interested to see where we're going to go. So hi, it's Monday morning. We've gotten to the end of Icebreaker. And it exists. It is a book that exists and I read it, which is disappointing because it was one of the books that I was most looking forward to for the entire year. I picked it up back in January and I knew that I wanted to read it in November, December of this year because I knew that it was a wintry themed snow and ice book. And it was very mid. I didn't really have the best time with it. The sex scenes were great. The sex scenes were well dotted between the book. I feel like the rest of the book was very, a lot is happening, but nothing is happening. A lot is going on, but it's so unimportant to the rest of the story, to me, to the characters. There were far too many characters for me, I think. There were far too many people being introduced on an almost every second chapter basis. I feel like there's a lot of the book that just didn't work for me. I'm also a little bit worried if an author who is from the UK writes a book that is set in America or vice versa. I feel like the intricacies of the culture can be mixed up. I feel like there's different things that you wouldn't know that don't come to you naturally because you didn't grow up there. And I feel like there's a couple of things here that didn't come to the author naturally because they didn't grow up in the US. Also, the epilogue has one of my least favourite tropes in the whole wide world. And as soon as we got to that, the book had lost the dressing room. I mean, it had lost the dressing room already, but it wasn't going to win me back. And I feel like specifically because there was a discussion in an earlier stage of the book, completely different to what had actually happened in the end. I feel like that made it about 20 times worse for me. The whole thing was just done badly, especially because of how the main character has said, I don't want this to happen. I would really like to go down this road. Completely different to how it actually ended up. And I really wish that, first of all, I wish that it didn't happen because I hate when that happens in books. But if it had to happen, I really wish it had gone down that path. So we're going to go on to the next book of the three. I think I will probably go for Breakaway first. I think that's the one I'll go for next. I will catch up back then. It has been so long since I've seen you. It's a new year and I have different hair. But we're going to keep this train on the tracks. Brittany and I decided when to put this vlog out, so I now know when my deadline is. I have 10 days to get the 2 next books for this vlog finished. So I am going to abandon my audiobook that I am currently reading and switch over to the audiobook of Breakaway. I think that's the one by Grace Riley and not the one by Stephanie Archer, because I always get those 2 series mixed up. They're both series that I want to try, and both of them have got a hockey romance in them, but I know that this is the one that I need to go for. I am kind of cheating. I'm starting this series with the second book. I bought the first one, which I think is like First Down, and I believe that is a football romance, but I'm starting this one with the second book. And that's something that I have got form for doing. I am really bad at starting series in the second book rather than in the first one. So let us continue with the chaos that I am used to doing, and let's keep going with these books. I have genuinely no idea what this one is about, but I do understand this is going to have hockey in it. And because it snowed so much last night, I feel like this is the perfect time to actually get started with it. So I'll check in with you when I find out what's going on, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. It is the same day. I'm just wearing different clothes because I am in like shutdown mode for the evening. I am 63% of the way through Breakaway. This is where I would tell you what the plot is, except that there is no plot to this book. It's just they wake up, they fuck, they go back to sleep. And I experienced all of that with Icebreaker, and I see that this book is trying to be Icebreaker 2.0. I can't actually even tell you where this book is set. There's been references to so many things that makes me think it's set in several different places. It's set in New York. It's set in Canada. It's got references to the Stanley Cup. It's got references to the NHL, which I believe are mainly set in Canada. And it's just, it's not really pushing any buttons for me. It is purely a vibes book. I do not have to think about anything while I'm reading this book. There are some things that I appreciate in this book. The female main character, Penny, was the victim of a sexual assault, sexual harassment. I haven't found it out yet, but I believe a sex tape of her was made public without her permission. This has been dealt with really well. The aftermath of that for her, its impact on her, she's still in therapy, as it seems. It seems that it had a breakdown in the relationship between her and her father, and there was like this massive period of distrust between the two of them, which I don't think should have happened because this was not her fault. But I feel like that side of it is written really well. And it has also impacted her relationship with sex to the point that she and Cooper haven't actually had sex yet. They haven't had penis in vagina, penetrative sex yet, but they have done so many other things. And I feel like this is written really well. This trauma is written really well. This thing that she has gone through and that she is still going through is written so well. But the rest of the book is just a book. It's honestly just a book that exists and I'm reading it. I also do have a bone to pick. Now there is an orange cat in here whose name is Tangerine. And most people who will know almost anything about cats will know that in 99.9% of cases, a ginger cat is going to be a male. There's a slim chance that it's a female cat, but Cooper and Penny find a cat after like a party or after a hockey game, and they pick it up, and Penny's like, oh my god, I think it's a girl. And I looked at my phone and I was like, you absolute dumb fuck. You know nothing about cats, because the chances of it being a female cat were so slim. And I am 63% of the way in. So there is a chance that somebody is going to say, oh, Tangerine has got his own set of Satsumas. But I'm not hopeful that that's going to happen. This is like Icebreaker 2.0. And I really wish that it weren't. I really wish that there were more of a plot to this. I really wish that it wasn't just strap in for the vibes. So I'm going to finish it tomorrow while I'm at work. I am doing the same task at work tomorrow that I was doing today, and that's very much you can switch your brain off, you're just inputting data. So I'm going to put the rest of the audiobook when I get to my desk tomorrow. I'm going to put the rest of the audiobook on and I am going to finish it. And then we will go on to the third and hopefully best book of the bunch. Well, that was certainly a book. One positive thing that I can say about this book is that it didn't have a third act breakup. Other than that, I did not enjoy my time in the pages of this book. I have got the first book in the series on my TBR, and I don't know how I'm going to get along with it. I don't know how that's going to go. But I have loaded up my Kindle with Time to Shine by Rachel Reed, and I'm excited for this one because I've seen good reviews of it. I've seen positive reviews of it more than I have negative ones, so I'm hopeful. I'm silently hopeful that I'm going to finish this vlog on a high note. Let's see how we get along. I know that this one is actually set in Canada. It's set in Calgary. And it is a male-male romance, and they're kind of roommates who are forced into like a roommate situation by their college. So let's see how that one goes. I am hopeful. I know I said I was going to update you at 50%, but I'm actually at 69 because I completely forgot to update when I got to 50. I'm having a better time with Time to Shine than I did with the other two, which is great, but I cannot pinpoint why I'm having a better time. Some of the dialogue in this book is a little bit cringy, juvenile. I'm not entirely a big fan of some of the dialogue that's been in here. There are a couple of things that I don't enjoy. I will admit that at the start of this book, I wasn't a huge Casey fan. I found him to be a little bit annoying. I found him to be a bit of a stereotypical jock. And there were a couple of kind of early stage hookups that he had that I was just like, oh, I know what kind of person you are. I know that you're just a really big playboy and that you have a different person coming in and out of your bed every single night. And that's not the kind of person that I want to read about. And then we learn more about Casey as a person and some of his deep insecurities and some of his phobias that he's had since he was a child. And I really, really warmed to him. I had a much better time reading him once I found out a little bit more about him and once I found out some of the deeper things about him. I should finish this today. I'm at about 69%. I should finish it by this evening. And I will hopefully have my final thoughts on whether or not I am a hockey girly. And I cannot actually tell you whether Brittany is a hockey girly or not. We haven't spoken a whole lot about the books that we've been reading. We haven't really gone into any deep discussions about, did you enjoy this book? Oh, have you read this one yet? I don't actually know how she's getting along with it. I have finished the last book that I needed to read for this vlog. I have finished Time to Shine, and I gave it 3 stars. I think I actually gave it a 3.5. Goodreads was a 3. It was fine. It was kind of middle of the road. I feel like it was about 100 to maybe 150 pages longer than it actually needed to be. It was way too slow burn for me. There were a couple of things in the start of the book that I didn't really enjoy. There were a couple of things leading into the middle of it that I didn't love. Some of the writing was a little bit clunky. For example, all 4 of the parents, so Casey's 2 parents and Landon's 2 parents, were in a room together at the same time. And everyone was referred to as mom or dad, with no reference to whose parents it was. There was nobody saying, okay, these are Casey's parents that we're talking about, or Landon's mom said this. It was just, you are to use your big girl brain and figure out who is talking about who. And I didn't want to turn my big brain on, so I wasn't entirely sure who we were talking to all the time. I think this has not been a success. It hasn't been the success that I think Brittany and I wanted it to be. I don't know about Brittany, but I can tell you right now, I am not a huge hockey romance girly. I'm going to stay with my little cartoon covers in small towns, and I don't think this was the outcome that we were looking for. But I might give it a try again with another type of romance that I've not read yet. I might give it a try with another friend of mine who we want to see if we match up on a couple of things. I had a good time. I've had fun discussing these with Brittany, but I don't know if hockey romances are for me. If you've gotten to the end of this video and you'd love to leave a comment, but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, obviously leave a hockey themed emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.